Hello, Jewell.
How you doing?
How's everything?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. So first of all, congratulations on yet another amazing season. How does it feel being a champion?
It feels pretty good. And I think, for us, being back home with the family after the strenuous season that we've had, to kind of sit down and be still. And you're really thinking about all the things that happen in the season, the games, the bonds you have with your teammates, and looking down and know that you have 2 rings. It's pretty humbling and pretty amazing.
2 rings. That's amazing. How many people are in that category right now? Do you know?
I'm sure there's quite a few. I know in my family I'm the only one, so I'll take that bragging rights any day. But no, it's humbling. I'm trying to get better every year and hopefully bring a lot of success to the Storm and my family.
So next week it's Thanksgiving. So aside from the championship ring, what are some of the things that you're thankful for right now?
Honestly, this whole year has been a lot to process. And I think for me and definitely my family, understanding the things that you value the most. And for me, it is my family. It is my circle of friends. It's understanding too that I'm here because I had hope. So trying to give back to people who've always helped me. And I'm really, focused on trying to give back my knowledge, my time, to the next generation of people who need it. Because I know when I needed help, someone was there for me. So I'm thankful for my circle and the people around me.
That's amazing. I'm thankful for, the gift of life. 2020 has been a very challenging year. I had a very close friend of mine who I went to college with who just suddenly passed away in an accident. So when I reflect on that, that I'm still alive, I'm very thankful for that. But I'm also thankful for things to come. I'm very positive in terms of, things that we're doing with Nunbelievable. We are about to feed 10,000 people with Jewell. So that's really exciting. So before we get into that, I just want to dive into, a little bit about you. So who is Jewell Loyd in your own words?
I would say that I think to understand me, we have to understand where I come from and who my parents are, because a lot of the things that I've learned from them. My parents grew up in the South. My mom grew up in the civil rights movement. Her parents, her siblings, everything. So she's a very strong, beautiful Black queen in my life. And so having her, and she's always been big on giving back and understanding, you didn't get here alone. We're here and we have a purpose. My dad, same thing, grew up down in the South. They both ended up in Chicago working to just support us as my brother and I as we grew. And I think for me, I've always kind of been someone who's been fearless, someone who always has been not afraid to do things that other people are scared to do, as well as understanding every time I get something, every time I have a dollar or whatever it is, I want to give that right back to people who actually need it. And that's something I've always been drawn to, is understanding that I'm here, but I also have hope. And so the people who need to get to where I'm at, they need help. And so the first thing I did when I got into the WNBA was I got my first check. I started a foundation. I figured out a way to, everything I wanted to get, everything I earned, I wanted to give it right back. And that's something I've always had in the forefront of my processes and my journey, is understanding that people need people, and to get there, you need to understand people, you need to love people, you need to help people. And so I guess that's kind of hopefully I answered the question a little bit on who I am and kind of what I do.
Wow. So you started a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Can you tell me more about what that organization does?
It's amazing. I grew up in the suburbs and kind of had this idea of, how come the kids in the city aren't exposed to the things that I'm exposed to? My mom was a teacher, so she literally, from the suburbs to her job was maybe a 10-minute drive. So it's not that far. And the things they didn't have at their school was always mind-blowing. So I always used to try to figure out how can I get these kids who are just as talented as me and the people of my peers get them exposed to other things. And so our foundation was really kind of started based on that idea. And so we've been doing a lot of things and kind of take the idea and taking it global. As we work with a lot of times, we work in Rwanda right now and fun and mentoring kids and understanding how they learn. And there's such a great group of people. I mean, they're hungry to learn, they're hungry to explore. And so what we do, we mentor them and we basically really try to help them become entrepreneurs. We donate computers to them. We give them access to resources. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed is resources. If you don't have the right resources or you don't have people who can give you those resources and exposure, it's hard to really make it. And so that's what we try to do over there in Rwanda. And we funded, I think 20 businesses and they've been really good. Yeah, it's amazing to see. And people are asking more and more. And so we're trying to obviously fund that and try to help that as much. And we're, hopefully trying to bring that idea to the States because I think that could be beneficial in Seattle and Chicago and the markets that aren't hit. And so we're trying to, really just inspire and mentor. We really want to give back to our people and give them the same opportunities that everyone else has. And so it's been really fun in the process of trying to do that. And I think that aligns with kind of what we're here to do, this holiday season and moving forward.
So have you been to Rwanda?
I've not. My brother went and he was sending me pictures and my next plan is trying to get over there. I really want to go over there and meet with the families and the people. And so my heart is to try to go back over there. But my brother was so lucky to go over there. I was actually overseas playing, but that's my goal is to go over there and actually, face to face and meet and talk and hear the stories because that's what I'm most drawn to.
So I went to Rwanda 2 years ago. For some impact work that we're doing, but I was born in Zimbabwe, which is close to Rwanda, but it's such a beautiful country. They went through a mass genocide. I don't know if you know about it. I'm sure you do, where 1 million people, give or take, died in about 3 months. Like it was horrific. And to see what the country has been able to do since that, genocide in 1994 to being one of the shining stars in Africa, it's remarkable. So if you do have a chance, I highly encourage you to go, and I can give you some tips on some of the things that you can go see and do and experience. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
What really resonates with me right now, Jewell, is that you're really a jewel to the world, right? Because you are working and you're dedicated to improving, the lives of kids on and off the pitch, right? And, you shared a little bit about the work that you're doing with your foundation. And you also decided to join forces with Nunbelievable this holiday season to feed, 10,000 people through the campaign that you're running right now. So the question that I would like for you to share with, some of our Nunbelievable customers who watch this video is, why is this cause important to you?
Honestly, the moment I started to understand what Nunbelievable was about and understanding the depths of it and seeing kids that are not just kids, families, Americans, people here that are struggling with food is mind-blowing to me because in this country, we throw away so much food. We have so much, and yet we don't necessarily do the max capacity level to really give back. And so, when I look at my niece and nephew who are 6 and 4, and they're like, "Oh, I'm hungry. Let me just go to the pantry and grab something to eat." And it's so simple to them. Well, there's parents and there's families that don't have a pantry full of food. And so knowing that there's kids and there's families that are hungry, that doesn't sit well with me at all. And I don't believe that should be an issue here in America. And so knowing that we can provide 10,000 meals is a no-brainer to me. I'm going to do everything in my power to provide that because there's a need. And no one should be left hungry. No one should be left, deciding and figuring out when their next meal is going to be. And so if we have a chance to do that and give back, that's something that I've been super passionate about. I know you are as well. And, I really hope that everyone joins, forces to help this cause. I know we can do it. I know there's a lot of great people out here. And plus the cookies are great too. So it's a win-win, like you get good cookies, you get good products, and you give back. So it's a win-win for me.
That's amazing. And, what I love about what you're doing is that you're really setting an amazing example for young athletes out there, who want to become, professionals one day. So, why do you think that athletes play an important role in society? I think the right way to actually phrase it is that how can athletes play an important role in making a difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, athletes can definitely play a huge role, and we have a big impact. And I don't think you start your career thinking that you're going to have an impact or you have a voice or you're, an activist or whatever. I think you just start, oh, I'm just a basketball player, yada, yada. But when things start to happen, definitely in 2020, things started happening and you realize it starts to affect you and you look around and you say, I need to do something. That's when you start realizing that you have a platform and you can use your platform for good. And, knowing that, for me, I play overseas as well. I play, here in the States for 4 months, 5 months, and then go overseas. And so my reach is massive. And so understanding that and understand people and kids are looking at what I post in and seeing this. If I post good things and good energy and kind of educate and let people know, hey, there's an issue, I need your help. You're a follower of me and you like what I do. Hey, can you help me out? Can I educate you on this? Then, I want to make sure I'm doing that. And, it's in some cases, it's maybe a burden. Sometimes like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to rub off the wrong way. But for me, if you do everything out of love and you do everything with the right intentions, everything you say is going to be right because you're not doing it with, anything bad. And so the fact that I can use my platform to let people know, hey, people are hungry. People need food. Can you help serve? Why would I not do that? So I try to, and obviously we're not always perfect, right? Like we're going to mess up, but as long as you're an athlete and you have the long reach to talk to people and educate people on it, you should. Every voice, matters. And sometimes I'm a voice for someone who doesn't have a voice. And so I'm starting to learn that as I get older and as I get higher in my job, you start realizing that, you have a voice and, this is the best way to use this through social media.
Yeah, and this season has been a season where more and more athletes have actually started to do it, right? With Black Lives Matter, even with your jerseys, you had Breonna Taylor on it and things like that. So you can really see more and more athletes are leveraging their platform to really make a difference. And us as a business, obviously, we're honored to be partnering with you and helping feed people because the hunger issue in America is big, right? So, we were having a conversation the other day where I was telling you that pre-COVID, it was, about 38 million Americans who are struggling with hunger. And now Feeding America is projecting that number is now around 54 million, right? Yeah. Think about it. 54 million Americans are food insecure. They have no idea where their next meal is going to come from. So it's really an issue that not only the nonprofits or socially based companies like Nunbelievable can tackle, we need everybody involved. So having a person like you who has a platform, who's doing amazing things on and off the court, partnering with us is something we truly embrace because it is through that we're going to be able to actually make a dent in solving that problem. 100%. So I want to shift gears a little bit. And with this concept we call nonbelievable stories, where basically it's a story about, someone who's making a difference in other people's lives, an unbelievable difference in other people's lives. And, they're doing it in a very remarkable way, something that's unique. So, do you have any non-believable stories that you've experienced in your life that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, if people don't know, I had a really good relationship with Kobe Bryant. He was my mentor for the last couple of years. And so, being with him and understanding who he was, he poured into me a lot of knowledge. And I got to know the man, the tenderhearted man, not just the Kobe Bryant villain that everyone sees on the court. So it was a mind blowing to be in his presence. And through Kobe, I aligned and have been blessed to know Kyrie Irving. And he's someone who's been a brother to me and family member to me. And I think this year, with everything going on and us losing Kobe, our mentor, our family member, and us kind of going through this grief period together and trying to understand what's important to us. He did a really big thing for the WNBA as well as for women in sports by creating a fund to help athletes who don't go overseas to stay at home and basically, grant us an opportunity to stay at home with our families and figure out what matters to us. And so he didn't have to do that. It was, a couple $1 million that he donated to women and allocated for us to support us. And so knowing that my brother Kai is understanding that, we need people to help each other. It's not just us versus them, men versus women. It's everybody. We're all human. And so knowing that we've learned all those great values from Kobe, and knowing that Kai and I are kind of teaming up together to kind of move that forward and push that needle has been such a blessing in my life. And so those two guys have played a tremendous role in my life, and I love them dearly. And those guys have been unbelievable for me in my life.
Wow. I didn't even know that about Kai, and, special shout out to him. For what he's doing. We need to send that man a box of cookies.
Yeah, definitely.
So that he can experience some Nunbelievable cookies. So I want to share a picture real quick, and it's actually on your profile. So let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
So I was on your social media and I saw this. I was like, wow, you and Kobe really had a good relationship. So what are some of the things that Kobe has taught you that you could share with us, on this live?
Yeah, Kobe was amazing. To be in his presence and kind of just have organic conversations with him was something that I will never, ever forget and never take for granted. I would say that the biggest thing that he always used to tell me, something that he wrote on my shoes the very first time I met him, was be epic and create forever. And so our whole conversations were always around that topic of how to be epic and how to create forever. And if you dive deep inside that, it was always, how can you create a better world for the next generation? How can I do everything I'm doing right now, but pass that down, pass on the knowledge, pass down the generational wealth, pass down the idea, the hope, the inspiration that I have now to the next generation. And so that's something that he always used to kind of bring up and talk about, and as well as keep it simple. Like sometimes you get so caught up in trying to make this big extravagant plan and you get, distracted with all the things. And at the end of the day, like, keep it simple. And for me, keeping it simple means, do everything out of love, have an understanding, those two things I kind of go hand in hand with everything I try to do. So aligning with people and moving forward with something has always been like, what are your intentions? Are you doing this out of love, or are you doing this out of, trying to make a name for yourself? And, those things that I learned from Kobe. And so we spent hours talking and understanding, like, you got to be epic, but what's that look like for you? How do you create forever? What does it look like for you? So I'm very humbled to have had that chance to talk with him. And hopefully I'm doing it justice by, talking about it and spreading that message, because it's definitely had an impact on my life.
Wow. So is he the one who gave you the name Gold Mamba?
Yeah, he dinged me that name. A couple years in, we were jokingly, I was like, oh, so am I in the Mamba school? Like, am I good? Am I learning from the Black Mamba himself? And he said, yeah. So yeah, go Mamba. And I'm like, all right, solid. That's all I need to hear. That's good. I'll take it.
I'll run with it. So it was like a night thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I took it and ran with it. And it's such an honor to have that name. And that's something that, that's something he gave me besides the belief in me. So those things I hold dearly and close to my heart.
All right. So I'm going to show a couple of highlights because, this season has been an amazing season for you guys real quick. So let me show a couple of highlights from this championship winning season, and we'll dive into your career in a minute.
All right.
I don't know why Carolyn Swords has been able to get those offensive boards. Just hard work by the big girl.
And Jewell Loyd with the first bucket of the game.
She already on the bench. Jackie Young in for her. For Vegas.
And Jewell Loyd bunny hops it in.
Inching a little bit closer. That will give Asia Wilson more room to operate.
Bird finds Loyd. Loyd on the attack, lays it in.
Wow. So when I was watching you, you kind of like reminded me of D Wade a little bit because, I'm a Miami Heat fan. When I came from Zimbabwe, I came, straight to South Florida, and your play, your style of play just kind of like reminded me of him. Is this true? Have other people said that? Can you share a little bit about, your style of play and, how you try to really make those buckets on the court?
Yeah, D Wade's from Chicago, so maybe that's just maybe it's just how you play at the parks and how you grow up. But no, I think it's just an evolution. I pride myself at one just being in really good shape, so I'm able to run around a lot, which helps me. And I try to make sure that I'm always growing my game, whether it's shooting from the outside, layups, and every day. And this season, I worked my butt off coming into the preseason to make sure I was in top shape with everything that's going on. And my focus is just trying to be efficient and consistent all year. And so, I put in a lot of work. But yeah, I think it's just a Chicago thing. You grow up playing the parks, you have a little edge, and sometimes you can tell when people are from certain areas of the country just because how they play. So, being compared to any professional Hall of Famer like D Wade or anyone is always an honor. So I'll take that.
That's pretty good. And this week we just had the NBA draft, right? Mm-hmm. That just happened. So let's go back to April 16th, 2015, where the commissioner was pulling out the envelope and they said your name. So walk me through the emotions you felt when you heard her say Jewell Loyd, #1 draft pick.
Honestly, the whole draft selection, going to the draft was something that was different. If people don't know a little bit about my story, it's that I left in 2015. I was a junior at Notre Dame, and I left, which is like such a no-no. No one's ever done it. There's been like 2 other people who left. So I left. So I was a young person entering the draft, doing something that no one's really done before, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm with my family, and I'm there and you're nervous and you're like, okay, like what if my name's not called? And you hear rumors like, hey, like maybe you're going #1, maybe you're going #2, but you don't really know until your name's called. So you're sitting there. And I just remember being like super still. And then, she said my name and I just looked right at my brother, who's been my right-hand man for obviously since we were kids, and then just hugged my family. It was just like a lot of mix of emotions because it's something that I've wanted since, high school. And, I dedicated so much time and effort to be in that position. And so knowing that my name was called, it was kind of a relief. But then you realize, okay, now what's next? Like, where do I go from here? I was still trying to finish up my school. So I went back to Notre Dame to do that. And then like a week later, I was flying out to Seattle doing all the media stuff. But it was such a humbling and a pure joy to know that all my hard work at that point has paid off and allowed me to continue my career. And I went to a pretty good place in Seattle. So it's kind of working out. I actually can't hear you at the moment. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So you've been there for 5 years now and 2 rings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good return. So let's talk about your rookie season, because you were rookie of the year, right? That year. So you took the WNBA by storm and you became rookie of the year. So walk me through that transition from going from, college to being a pro. How did that work for you? Because for some people, they really struggle to transition from, college basketball to becoming a professional. So how were you able to make that transition as smooth and seamless as possible?
I've been pretty lucky to be around a really good group of people. And so knowing that I went to Seattle and playing with the GOAT, Sue Bird, helped me a lot. I mean, she's the smartest point guard in the league for many, many years now. So going in as a young player, learning from her was perfect for me. And, I think, from a physical game standpoint, I was super little, wasn't really physical at the time, but I knew that I was just quicker than everybody. So I just allowed my speed to just kind of take over. So my game adjusted as I got older. So like my rookie year, it was more like sprinting to get layups and just rebounding, being super active and trying to get to my spots. But a lot of people don't know that, at first I was trying to figure it out and the game was a little fast. So I actually asked my coach, I'm like, hey, can I actually come off the bench so I can see what I need to bring into the game instead of the other way around? And so for a little period of time, maybe a couple of weeks, I came off the bench. And it allowed me to really see and develop and understand the game, and kind of my matchups and energy. And then once I kind of figured it out, then I finished with that rookie year very strong and won Rookie of the Year. But it's really just kind of going there and one, having confidence in yourself, understanding how to learn from your vets. And I had amazing vets, my rookie year, and then trusting the process. And so I kind of did those things and it worked out, but it definitely starts with my point guard, Sue.
So how is it, playing with Sue? Tell me a little bit more about that experience.
It's amazing. She's the perfect professional off and on the court. How she carries herself and how she studies the game of basketball and just knows how to, give the ball to people, understand just the game of basketball. It's a beautiful thing when you're literally watching and in the middle of the game, she's telling you, hey, go this way in an instant. I mean, she can pick up games and understand things so quickly. So like I said, I was spoiled as a rookie coming in and playing with her because now I'm like, if it's not Sue, I don't know, it makes you nervous because it's like I've had the best point guard. Like, I don't know, who's next, right? But understanding that Sue is just such a great person. She cares about people and she has everything. She does everything with the right intentions. So she's just an amazing person. And I wouldn't have wanted any other point guard for me in the last couple of years. And knowing that was my point guard when I got into the league was something that I cherished. And I will always cherish. She's such a great friend and leader.
All right. So what is maybe one or two things that you wish you had known when you started your WNBA career?
I think the biggest thing was probably to understand how to love yourself. I think when you get to the next level, when you're trying to grow your career, when you're growing as a human, as a young athlete or a person, you're constantly evolving. And so sometimes you don't give yourself enough grace when you need to. You're always kind of comparing or, criticizing yourself or your game. And so I think if, I had to look back at it, I would tell myself to always love myself, like find ways to appreciate who I am. Because sometimes you forget to do that. We're moving so quick, we're going so fast, we're always on the grind, and you forget to just have time for yourself and appreciate who you are and where you're at. So I always try to tell the people and the kids that I mentor, like, the person you are today is not the person you will become. Give yourself grace and enjoy the process.
So that's really amazing words, and I hope young athletes who have aspirations to become professionals are listening. But I want to switch gears now, and let's talk about cookies. I've been loving the content you've been posting on social. Like, it's amazing. It's authentic. It's genuine. But I want to give a special shout out to a special someone. So I'm going to share this clip real quick, and we'll dive into it.
I'm going to tell you this one time. Nonbelievable baked goods are good for the soul. If we just see one cookie, we'll feed the hungry, 'cause we need you now. All you need is to link to the website. It is simple, all you do is just swipe. 15% off, and the code is Jewell15. Come on and support for the holidays. And it's all oatmeal and raisins, peanut butter, chocolate chip, and double chocolate chip, yeah.
So who was singing?
That's my mom. She's been a performer her whole life. She grew up singing. And so, I was getting all the boxes of cookies and I'm like, what can I do or whatever? And I'm like, Mom, can you write a jingle? She's like, man, I haven't done that in so many years. And then 5 minutes later, she's like, Jewell. And she starts singing. I'm like, what? She literally just going. And, she loves Snow Allegra. So that was playing in the background. And she was like, okay, let me just, and then she just came down and just bam. And so I was like, hold on, let me record this. So she did it again. And that's when I recorded. And she's, if you need a jingle, she got you.
All right. So she's actually inspired me to take my box and I'm going to look and see what cookie I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
Do you have your cookies around you? What are you going to have? Let's have a cookie.
You already know. Oatmeal raisin.
You're going to go oatmeal raisin?
Yeah. I told you I had the peanut butter and I was last night as a quick snack and I was just like, I warmed it up just a little bit. So I got
in the microwave.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do rapid fire real quick. If you had chocolate chip and double chocolate, which one would you go with?
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip?
Chocolate chip.
All right. So what about chocolate chip and the one that you warmed up last night? Which one would you go with?
Peanut butter was fire, so I had to go peanut butter because I want
Peanut butter?
Yeah.
All right. So what about oatmeal raisin and two of these?
Oatmeal raisin. I love oatmeal raisin. So I'm biased, but I love it.
So we do agree on something. Oatmeal raisin is actually my favorite flavor too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna open one up and we'll get to enjoy
please.
a nice oatmeal raisin with you. And you know, I just love how big the cookies are.
Yeah, I don't think people understand. Like, this is like thick. Like, people always like, usually they're like flat. There's no texture. It's just like, no, these are solid, thick, good cookies.
It's a non-believable cookie.
Man,
that's what it is.
It's amazing.
So oatmeal raisin is my go-to.
Yes.
So that's the one I'm going to dive into right now. So tell me about your day-to-day routine. So what do you do? Like when you wake up, you go, you know, just walk me through your day. I'm just curious. The life of a professional athlete.
Technically this is my off season, but I stay pretty, you know, on my schedule as much as possible. So basically, like for today, I woke up. You know, usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays I go lift. So my day's a little different. Usually my lifts are like 7 a.m. lifts, and I lift for an hour and a half. A lot of leg work, conditioning, speed and agility. But today I wake up, walk my dog. Usually I'm up at like 6:30. I'm walking him, and then I go shoot for an hour and a half. Usually some ball handling, a lot of just shooting, really trying to just get rhythm shooting. After that, I come home, either have a Zoom meeting or talk to my brother and talk about some off the court stuff. And then right now that I'm hanging out with my family. So it's actually a pretty more relaxed schedule, but I'm still making sure that I'm getting my work in and I'm staying in good shape and things like that. And then at night, then I put my oatmeal raisin cookie with my ice cream and have a good solid dessert. So then it's all good. I still can hear you.
One thing I also admire is that you have a really good relationship with your team, the Seattle Storm.
Yeah.
I saw that yesterday they posted your video about the campaign. So can you dive into a little bit about the relationship that you guys have and how they've really been supportive to a lot of the things that you've been doing, you know, as an athlete?
Yeah, no, the Storm is a great organization from top to bottom. It starts with the owners. They're amazing. And anytime we do anything beyond basketball, they're right behind us. And that's the beauty of our organization, is that they care about us beyond just athletes. So anytime we do anything, whether it's Alicia Clark, who does her tour drive, or you know, the Nunbelievable campaign, they're right behind us. So you know, it's a family, and that's the atmosphere that we have in Seattle, and that's why people are drawn to our city and our team, because we're different. We're not just here to, you know, be products in a company. We're here to make a change and different. And they even played a huge role in our social justice stuff as well. They were behind us and made sure that we felt comfortable moving forward on things that they wanted to do and things that we wanted to do. So they've been amazing, and you know, I have a lot of appreciation and respect for our ownership and our GM in Seattle.
That's amazing. So let's get into some inspirational stuff, if you want to call it, right? So what's your favorite quote?
My favorite? I think one of my favorite quotes, it kind of has to be, you know, the mama mentality. I used to write that on my shoes all the time. You know, we don't quit, we don't cower, we conquer. You know, knowing that is something that I have always kind of cherished, and understanding that and knowing that you shouldn't run from adversity, that you need to run at it, because it builds character. You figure out who you are as a person. And so that's something I've always kind of cherished, is the mama mentality quote. You know, we endure and conquer. And so understanding that you're always going to, you know, hopefully come out on top, but you don't want to run from a challenge.
Wow. I'm getting goosebumps just listening to you right now.
Yeah.
And who would you say, Kobe, we've already established, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the most influential people in your life. But, do you have, let's say 3 other people who've really played an inspirational role in your life? Who are they?
I would say for first off, it's definitely my mom. Seeing just how strong she is and everything she's kind of taught our family. And moving forward, just always speak your mind and be confident who you are, and the joy and the light that she always kind of brings to the table is something that I've always kind of just noticed and know that she's my mom. She literally brought me in this world. The things that mothers do in general. It's something like a mother's strength and bond for her kids, and so seeing that has been amazing. As I've kind of gotten older, you start to realize all the things that your parents kind of do for you growing up. So she's definitely one. Another person for me has been my first coach, Mr. Reisman. He kind of got me into basketball and kind of mentored me at an early age. And he's been, by my side and supported me for years. He would drive up to Notre Dame, go to games. He goes to my professional games as well. And he was battling cancer a couple of years ago and didn't tell me. He didn't want me to worry, and he battled about himself. And I was so mad at him that he didn't tell me until after he got into remission. And then seeing him go through that and still drive hours to go see me and just always have time for me was something that I have been changed by. And he's been that guy for me since I was in 4th grade. And I say the last one. Kind of has to be Kyrie, because of our bond together and knowing that we're, around the same age, we're going through this process together, we're growing together, and knowing that he genuinely loves and cares, for me as a human being, as a person, has been something that, I think as young Black athletes and young Black women that we need. And he understands that. And so having him by my side through this process has been amazing.
Wow. Yeah. And what advice, and I know we've spoken about different things throughout, but what advice would you give to young athletes that really have that dream of becoming a professional? Like, what would be the sage words that Jewell has to share with them right now?
I said this earlier in our talk is, I think, one, you have to understand the person that you are today is not the person that you will become. You have to give yourself grace. You have to understand that it's a journey, it's a process. And knowing that process allows you to understand that you're going to evolve as a human being. So there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. You never want to get too high, never want to get too low, but you have to understand you have a purpose in this life and you're here for a reason. And so when you understand the value that you bring to the table, you understand your value. And that's something that's super important, that you have to understand your value and worth, and don't let anyone take that away from you.
That's amazing. So obviously we're here to talk about how you are going to provide 10,000 meals to people in need this holiday season. So how can people support you on that quest?
Man, first of all, I'm just honored to be a part of this with Nunbelievable, and honored to allow my followers and fans to join us. Yeah, that's my mom in the back.
We should have her come sing for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They want a live performance. She got to do her la la las and oohs to get warm. But yeah, no. On my social, there's a link, and I'll put it in my bio as well to swipe up. I've been posting about it weekly, daily, to make sure that people understand how ready and how hyped I am to feed these, serve these meals and provide these meals. So there's a link, Nunbelievable, that you can swipe up on. The code is Jewell15 if you didn't hear my mom singing. I'm excited about it, and I've been posting about it. Like I said, it's in my social media bio, and I think everyone involved, and I've been getting a lot of feedback from fans and things, saying that they bought their meals and they're excited about it. And some people are getting introduced to Nunbelievable too, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited that we could do this. I really believe that we can, and the more people get involved, the more meals that we can provide.
Yeah, we just have to have that Mamba mentality, right? Yeah. We will just keep on going until we conquer, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to exceed that 10,000, and we'll do even more impact going forward. So how can people connect with you if they want to connect with you?
It's very simple. I made it I'm very accessible. I understand that time is something that we never get back. And I want to be sure that I'm always giving my time to people that I'm not always able to sit down and interact with, whether it's fans from games or, there's people that, want to ask me advice or things like that. I let people know always that I'm not, a therapist, a psychologist. I'm not a psych major, but I will listen and I will give you the best advice that I could give. With the good intentions always behind it. And so on my Instagram, there's a text button right under my profile. You text that number, and it's my number. It's my phone. There it is. The number's right there. Text it, and I reply back. So I'm able to have conversations with people, learn, see people grow. There's people on there that I've been texting for years, from their freshman year all the way to their senior year. So seeing that and having that relationship with people has been amazing for me. And sometimes, I need some encouragement. So some of the times the people text in and, they're like, hey, you're doing great. I love what you're doing. And that's sometimes I need that. So it's been working both ways. And, I'm so hyped to allow people to text me, and I'm able to connect with people and just have conversations with people. I love knowing and understanding people's stories. And so it's been great. And text me. I'm here, and, I'm always replying back on my phone. So make it pretty easy for people.
Well, that's amazing, Jewell. I'm very, very honored that you have joined us on this mission to help, fight the hunger crisis in America. As we all know, it's a big issue, but, we came up with a solution, right? One cookie equals one meal.
Yes.
So whenever someone eats a cookie, someone is getting a meal.
Yes.
And like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to be working with you, and we're looking forward to really hitting that 10,000 meal benchmark this holiday season. And hopefully you can actually, join us at some of our soup kitchens that we work with across the country, so you can actually meet the people that are going to benefit from your efforts right now. So feel free to, follow Jewell. There's her Instagram account. And if you want to text her, there's her phone number. So feel free to text her as well. And you'll be able to connect, and you'll be able to see the campaign and what she's doing and the awesome content that she's sharing. So Jewell, thank you so much for the time. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Are you going to be cooking? What's going to be happening for Thanksgiving?
I'll probably do a little cooking. I'll allow my parents to do that. That's kind of like their thing around the holidays, taking it back to our roots. So a lot of soul food, a lot of understanding, where we come from and storytelling. So I'll let the OGs do the cooking.
All right. Well, I know your address, so I might just crash. I might just show up and, and I'll bring the cookies with me, so it'll be great. But it'll be good to have some turkey and, listen to your mom sing for us, and maybe we can play some hoops. I'm more of a soccer guy, but maybe you can teach me one or two things.
You teach me too. I'm trying to work on myself as much as possible. So we're good teammates.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend. And for everybody that's watching, thank you so much for your time and for watching this and learning about what Jewell and Nunbelievable are doing. Have yourself a wonderful Friday and have a great weekend.